no tamer voice today. Hi, guys.
Hello, world. Welcome to the Shannon Joy Show.
Hello, world, and welcome to the Shannon Joy Show. We're broadcasting live from Boone County, Kentucky. I am here with my dear friend Tiffany Cianci, and we have taken Kentucky by storm. It is Tom Massie country out here, and we have a huge show for you today. I'm so glad to see all of you on all of the SJ platforms. Of course, we are live on Rumble, we're live on Twitter, Spreely TV, Roku TV, Apple TV, every podcast platform you can imagine. We are live on Substack. We are live on YouTube, CloutHub, and it is so exciting. And today we're live on TikTok as well. Bringing the young crowd in, Tiffany. Thank you so much. This is unbelievable, guys. I cannot believe that we pulled this off. Yesterday, got in the car, 8 hours through Ohio, traveled through Cleveland, Columbus, Cincinnati, down to Thomas Massie's district, and we are going to do everything that we can in the next 5 days to beat the deep state, the Epstein class, the billionaires who are trying to purchase a representative in this district. And so we're going to do everything we can to get as much attention on this district and encourage people to get out and vote. If you are within driving distance of this district, get in your car, grab a friend, find someone, go to the polls, and vote in the primary that is going to be coming up on Tuesday. So we have a ton of guests for you today. We're going to talk to Tiffany in just a moment. Some of the most brilliant independent broadcasters, podcasters, content creators, influencers are in this house today. We have 3 studios set up. It's unbelievable. The energy is insane, and we are just going to have so much fun. So I want to say hello to all of you. Let's hit the live chat first. Then we're going to talk about one of our amazing sponsors, and then I'm going to bring Tiffany in. Mama C 1996, it is great to see you. Honor Seeker, great to see you live on the Rumble live chat. You guys are amazing. I love this comment. James Cabral 135. Hello to everyone from Newport, Kentucky, Massie's district. Look forward to seeing Shannon soon. I cannot wait to meet you. We have live events lined up. We're going to go to the honky tonks, the coffee shops, all of the places. And of course, next Tuesday, we are going to turn out the vote. And I'm so thrilled to have this amazing TikTok audience with us as well. And of course, Tiffany Cianci, who is the organizer of this amazing coalition of influencers. We're going up against the big guys. So before we get to Tiffany, I do want to thank our sponsors. We could not bring the Shannon Joy Show to all of you without our amazing sponsors. And the first one I want to talk about is Golden After 50. Now, I have to tell you, today is my son Jackson's birthday. He turns 20 today, which I cannot believe.
Happy birthday.
He has turned into an amazing young man. I love him so much. Happy birthday, Jackson. He's my firstborn. And I love that he's 20, but it does actually make me feel a little bit old. I can't believe he's 20, and I can't believe I am almost 50 in about a month.
My oldest is 24.
I don't love it. I don't love it. In about a month, I'm going to be turning 49, which is 1 year away from 50. And obviously, I'm thinking about my health, my vitality, and of course, aging gracefully. And so this is why I'm absolutely obsessed with the stack that I'm using now from Golden After 50. They are amazing sponsors. And I just want to make sure that you guys are aware of everything that is going on with this amazing deal from Golden After 50. So of course, I want to be healthy, energetic. I want to look great for my age. And so every morning I've been using the Golden After 50 stack of products. It's unbelievable. First, I start with the Beets formula, which is delicious. I mix it into my energy shake, and that helps with circulation. Then I take the Nitro Flow 9, which stimulates the production of nitrous oxide, which, as you guys know, is so incredibly important in terms of delivering oxygen to every cell in my body. And then I end with Golden Resurge, which is my anti-aging beauty secret. It's made especially for women. And so every single morning I am taking those 3 products, and I'm seeing a huge difference in just my energy levels, and of course also my skin, my hair, my nails. It's amazing. So you guys can grab the SJ stack by clicking on the link in the description right now, or scanning the QR code that is going to pop up on the screen. Just scan your phone over that, and you guys are going to get 20% off your order when you use the promo code JOY20. So that's 20% off your order. This is an exclusive deal for the Joy audience from Golden After 50, and it's a great opportunity for you guys to try the stack as well. So again, scan that QR code or click on the link in the description box and use that promo code JOY20 for your 20% off. Okay, done with the housekeeping. Tiffany Cianci, welcome to the Shannon Joy Show. How are you doing?
Well, today my voice is in mutiny, but otherwise I'm, hyped, stressed, overwhelmed, excited, and feeling like we're actually on track to do what we came here to do.
As I mentioned earlier, guys, the energy is unbelievable right now in Thomas Massie's district. And Tiffany Cianci, if you recognize her viral video just from a couple days ago, millions of views at this point. And this is what she said to her audience. And this is what inspired me and every influencer that is here today. She got on to her platforms and said, what if I told you that a group of creators could out-influence a multi-million-dollar political ad blitz by AIPAC and their billionaires here in Massie's district? And that's what we mean to do. They're trying to purchase an election. They are trying to lie and deceive the good citizens of Boone County and Massie's district. And we're here to stop them, to give the real narrative, the truth about what is happening here, and also inspire as many people as we possibly can to get out and vote in the primary on Tuesday. So I'm going to hand it over to you, Tiffany. Okay. You are the organizer behind this. She's the woman behind it all. I'm in awe of everything that you've been able to accomplish. Let's just tell the audience what's going on.
I'm going to apologize in advance for my voice. Everybody will warm up as we go. I've spent the last 20 years watching the slow and steady erosion of the voters' participation in the actual selection of who represents us. I have watched corporations and international interests capture more and more of the influence in deciding who is elected, who's even allowed to run, who has the money to run. And I kind of swallowed some of it while trying to figure out what could we do to fix it. But when I watched this race, when I saw 3 billionaires from other countries that have zero ties to Kentucky come here and choose a warm body, and I'm not exaggerating, when they chose the candidate here, Trump was asked why he chose him, and he said, I don't care, I just need a warm body. Kentucky will vote how I tell them to. That's what he said. They chose a warm body with zero willingness to put himself out there and demonstrate what his actual views are. He showed up for no debates. He showed up for almost no public appearances. He's responded to 0 requests from the press. That wasn't a fluff piece. And we find out that these 3 billionaires, that one of them is an Israeli citizen, one of them is a dual citizen, came here and spent now almost $13 million in the this is historically verified, most expensive House race primary in American history.
Unbelievable.
I couldn't stand it. I couldn't stomach it. I couldn't watch one more minute of billionaires deciding that the voters don't matter. And the reason I know that it was so important, I knew it was so important, is because Thomas Massie has the highest approval rating of any member of Congress.
Wow.
He's number 1 for integrity, number 1 on both sides of the aisle. And these people came here and said, we're going to buy this election. He's out.
Right.
And I couldn't stomach it. And, I've been thinking for a long time about the money that they spend. When billionaires are buying these elections, they're doing it with Fox News ad placements, right? They're not talking to young voters because young voters don't participate in primaries. It is the biggest mistake that young voters have allowed themselves to be propagandized, to be convinced that their vote on election day in a presidential race matters, but that their vote in choosing who ends up on that ticket doesn't. And it has been that way for the last 15 years. They haven't wanted young voters participating in primaries because as long as it's older voters, they've continued to be propagandized and they've continued to be told how to vote, and they voted that way. And it's allowed these hand-selected candidates to constantly make it through. But we have bigger platforms than they do.
Right.
My live show on a slow Saturday night has more live viewers than Fox News on their best night of the week.
Oh, that's
okay,
right.
and I am one of the smallest creators here. Ryan Mata is here, like 100 million views a month, right? Zachary Faust is coming, 6 million followers, right? James Lee is here, 15 million views a month. Danny Love is here, right? You are here. Combined, we outflank Fox, MSNBC, CNN, and CNBC, and none of us take money for it.
That's right.
We've never taken money from a politician. We've never taken money from a political action committee. And I know that if we can prove that our voices can outflank their money, we can bring this back to the people.
Amazing.
And I couldn't wait another minute. And I believe Thomas Massie's earned this.
Absolutely.
He's earned my trust. He's earned my effort. And he's earned all of us putting everything on the line to do this.
It took me about 90 seconds to agree to come here. It didn't take long to convince me. And as you guys know, I have been broadcasting for 13 years. This is the first time in my 13-year history that I have come out and supported a national candidate. I've never done it before. I made the exception for Thomas Massie because, as Tiffany explained, he has earned it. And he has stood up for his constituents, not just here in Boone County, Kentucky, and in his district, but constituents across the country, right? He is the one guy standing up, telling the truth, whether it's about what's going on with the release of the Epstein documents or what's going on with the passage of the big, beautiful bill, which increased debt and deficit spending. He tells the truth about our opposition to endless wars, restarting wars and starting them up in Iran. Every single time we need a voice, Tom Massie is there. And so what kind of people would we be if we didn't come out here and help him out? Regardless of what happens on Tuesday, I think that this is going to be a difference maker. I think these coalitions, and Tiffany mentioned some of the names that we're going to bring to you today on the live broadcast right here on the Shannon Joy Show. So if you're watching right now on Rumble, Twitter, Spreely, Roku, YouTube, you name it, give this show a thumbs up, share it with everyone you know, leave a comment in the comment section, or join the live chat. This is how we bump up the algorithm. This is how we push this show out organically. So we need you to do that today. We have Tiffany Sianchi with me right now. Ryan Mata is coming up at the end of the hour. So he has a massive following. He has a huge voice on multiple platforms, a documentary filmmaker. We're going to have him. Davis Jones is going to be with us in just a little bit. Hunter Alexander Howell, one of the younger influencers and content creators out there. He does short form content creation on Instagram and is absolute doll.
He's the founder of Purple Revolution, and I'm a huge fan.
He's amazing. Danny Love of WFF News. She has 300,000 followers on Instagram. James Lee, who I've been following forever. He is just across the way in another studio. As I mentioned, we have 3 studios set up here, and he's broadcasting live right now. And I think he's pre-recording a video. Just an amazing group of people. We're also going to talk to True Love. She's organizing the Get Out the Vote, the GOTV that's going to have to happen in this county. So we're going to be pumping out as much content creation as we can, as many videos as we can. I'm learning so much from all the young people.
We're hosting events in person where our followers can come and meet us and Thomas Massie.
That's right.
So we have on-the-ground live events that you can come and engage with. We want you to bring your I voted sticker. Come. We want you to make content with us. We want you in our videos if you want to be in our videos. But we want to meet you. We want to meet the people of Kentucky. We want to thank them for keeping somebody like Massie in office for these past 16 years so that we can all benefit from the work he's done for us.
Absolutely. Tonight, the Coffee House and Cafe in LaGrange, that's where we are going to be with Lauren Boebert, Matt Gaetz, Tom Massie, all of us. It's going to be, it's crazy.
If you want to come out, you're going to get to watch a live stream of the Alex Jones Network. I'll be interviewing Lauren Boebert on there. I'll be interviewing Thomas Massie, James Lee, Ryan Mata, and Hunter Howell, I believe, is my lineup for the live stream from, that's going to be 5 to 7 p.m. Eastern time.
Amazing.
We're also going to get to see live live recordings of the Today-ish podcast, and you're going to get to see and meet Thomas Massie. So coming out.
And I heard that another special guest is coming in.
Which one?
Dennis.
Oh, yeah.
I didn't know if I was allowed to say
Yeah. We have Representative Dennis Kucinich and his amazing wife, Elizabeth Kucinich. They're two of the largest advocates in the Maha space, and they're going to be joining us later tonight. We have big events tomorrow all day.
Yeah. What is very cool about this movement is that it is bipartisan, and it's independents, people who believe in freedom and liberty, common sense, truth, justice, the foundational principles that are laid out in the Constitution of the United States of America and our Declaration of Independence and our Bill of Rights, and all of that is being threatened by this billionaire class in every way imaginable. Yesterday on the ride out, it was an 8-hour ride, and I used that time to just talk to a ton of people.
Sure.
And Daniel Horowitz and I don't know if you've met Daniel Horowitz, but he's the host of the Conservative Review, big podcast on The Blaze.
Okay.
And a very dear friend of the Shannon Joy Show. I've known him for over a decade. And so Daniel and I were able to talk for about an hour and a half yesterday on my drive. He is doing some of the most brilliant work on the data centers and the agenda behind the data centers that are sweeping across the country. They are threatening to take our land, to rezone our land, to use eminent domain, to steal farmland across the United States of America.
If you look in Utah, they're using Defense Act reclamations of land.
Horrifying. And so it's not just about Tom Massie in this district on this day in Kentucky. This is about their attempt to subvert every aspect of what it means to be an American, what it means to live in a constitutional republic with democratic principles. All of it is at stake by this class of elite billionaires, tech bros, the pharma, big pharma, the military industrial complex, all of it. And so if we don't make a stand, if we don't find some way to go up against the captured media and the captured political class, we're going to lose our country. And you have kids, Tiffany. I have 3 kids. They need liberty. They need to be able to pursue happiness. How could I sleep at night if I didn't give them the blessings that we had as children? It's horrifying.
You just talked about data centers, and I want to talk a little bit about how the billionaires are manipulating the legacy media, one, to suppress turnout in this election, but every election, but also to suppress the narratives that people have framed around politicians. One of the biggest things that they've been doing in the ads they've been launching against Massie is they made deep fakes of him that changed what he said. That's a crime, by the way. That's a crime in the state of Kentucky. So they've been airing ads that feature deep fakes of Thomas Massie saying things he never said. But they've also worked really, really hard to get the legacy media to not pay attention to the things he's done that are amazing. Because we all know about the Epstein Transparency Act. Everybody's big on that.
Right.
But a lot of people don't know how hard he's been working to crush immunity for glyphosate and pesticide manufacturers, right?
Yeah.
He killed himself along with Shelley Pingree and Rep. Luna in DC to try and stop immunity for pesticide companies. Well, what a lot of people don't know, and this is directly related to data centers, is that Thomas Massie holds a very high-ranking seat on the Judiciary Committee. If he loses his election, then the state of Kentucky loses that seat, and we lose his position to effect change through the Judiciary Committee. Well, 2 weeks ago, in Judiciary, there was a very quiet introduction of a bill that was about to pass unanimously. Both sides of the aisle were paid to pass this bill, and it was the Protect American AI Act, I think. And he single-handedly killed this bill that was granting immunity to data center developers for any harm they cause your community.
Unbelievable.
That was going to happen 2 weeks ago, and Thomas Massie killed that bill.
It's crazy.
And nobody knows. There's not a single article anywhere written about that. Well, who do we think paid to make sure nobody knew? Data centers are a flash in the pan, hot button issue right now. They do not want anyone knowing that he killed that bill. But there is nobody that believes that a data center should be able to build across the street, destroy my home values, destroy my water table, maybe poison my children, and I shouldn't be able to sue to hold them accountable.
Yeah, this data center issue, Daniel Horowitz mentioned, he thinks that this could be the catalyst for the next new major movement in the country because it is so nonpartisan. Every Democrat, every Republican, old, young, it is. Let's see this, James Cabrera. But the point being, though, that this data center issue is one that is, I think, going to cross party lines and be an opportunity for us to, maybe go up against that the uniparty and be effective. James Cabral 135, who is in the district right now, has a comment. There have been billboards and flyers going around Newport telling us to tell Massie not to support Muslims and to pay the troops. Disgusting.
First of all, Thomas Massie has never not wanted to pay our troops.
Yeah.
And he is American first, not America first. That means he doesn't support new wars. It has nothing to do with what they're saying. But again, deep fakes, lies, propaganda, manipulation. Speaking of lies, propaganda, and manipulation, another amazing bill that Thomas Massie drafted is the Repeal Smith-Munn Modernization Act of 2012, which is a bill that passed under Obama with bipartisan support that allowed the government to begin to lie to us to effectuate propaganda. So the federal government right now is allowed, only since 2012, it was illegal before that, to lie to the American people, to propagandize us into believing whatever they want. And he authored and introduced the bill that would repeal that, so that makes it a federal crime for the U.S. government to lie to us.
Wow. What more could you want?
I'm sorry, and he does what we all want.
Right. And this is why we are all here. This is just the beginning, by the way. We're going to have more influencers, content creators pouring in over the next 5 days. I'm going to be here right up through the election. So you're going to get content from the Shannon Joy Show on all the platforms.
We're going to do some weekend shows too, right?
We can do weekend shows. I want to learn how to do those fun, young looking vertical lives. Nice. So I'm learning so much here. Exactly. I need to learn how to do that. So we're going to be bringing you guys just a ton of unbelievable content. And so, Tiffany, I'm going to let you go in just a minute. You can meet Tiffany, you can meet Thomas Massie and me tonight, the Coffee House and Cafe at LaGrange. We're going to be there at 5:30. And it's your opportunity to come out, show your support, and really drum up as much attention as we possibly can for all of the efforts that we're going to be putting into this over the next 5 days. Go ahead.
And tomorrow morning, we're going to be in Covington. We're going to be at Lesse Steakhouse on the roof. Nice. They're opening it just for us. It is a gorgeous setting. The backdrop is the whole city of Cincinnati. Yeah. We're going to be up at Lesse Steakhouse from 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. in downtown Covington, where you can come and meet Thomas Massie. You can spend time with us. There's food, there's drinks. It's going to be brunchy and boozy. And then at 1:30, we're going to be going to Florence at his campaign headquarters for a rally. Also, Lauren Boebert will be at our morning event. Nice. And so will Matthew Gates. They'll both also be speaking at the rally. And then on Sunday morning, we have a boozy brunch at
Lots
the Standard.
Of boozy brunches.
I did not come all the way to Kentucky to not have bourbon. Sorry. I'm sorry.
It's beautiful here, by the way.
It sure
Absolutely stunningly beautiful. Cincinnati was amazing. I've never even been to Cincinnati.
It's gorgeous here.
What a gorgeous city, Tiffany.
And they can't see our view. Yeah. You can't see our view, but we're literally sitting 100 feet from the Ohio River.
It's absolutely gorgeous.
All we see is river.
We'll do some videos in front of the river as well. We're gonna have so much fun, girl.
Thank you so much for having me on. Thank you guys for tolerating my voice this morning.
Yes. No, I'm gonna go to a quick commercial break and then we're gonna transition. We're gonna bring in another special guest. Davis Jones is with us. He has a huge following on Twitter, Insta, and TikTok. His handle is at @PDavisJones. By the way, follow Tiffany. Her handle on Twitter is at the Vino Mom. The Vino Mom. She's also on TikTok, and all the other big.
At Tiffany Cianci over there.
Yes. So let's go to break. All right. And then we're going to bring in Davis. Later on, we're going to have Ryan Matta, Hunter Alexander Howell, who is amazing. True Love on the GOTV effort. That's Get Out the Vote, for those of you who don't know. And maybe some other special guests as well. So keep it tuned right here. Give us a thumbs up. Share this out with everyone you know. We're going to be back in a moment to continue with the Shannon Joy Show. At 123.com/joy.
everything that you're going to need for preparation: generators, solar panels, Faraday products. If you want to disappear and protect yourself from the surveillance state, they have an entire line of amazing Faraday products called dark bags. They're always 10% off at the satellite phone store if you go to sat123.com/joy. That is sat123.com/joy. The satellite phone store has supported the Shannon Joy Show for many years. They are amazing partners, and let's help the companies that help keep the lights on here at the Shannon Joy Show. So if you are in the market for any of their products or services, make sure you use that promo code JOY and go to sat123.com/joy. That's sat123.com/joy. But I do want to talk about parasites. So as you know, there's been a big medical hack of 2025. Everyone's talking about parasites. In fact, my husband, devastatingly handsome Dr. Joy, was recently talking about parasites as well. It's one of those topics that just has not made its way into the mainstream conversation about why we get sick, right? You go to the doctor and it's either a virus or a bacteria or virus, but you never hear a doctor ever saying, well, maybe it's a parasite, right? So there's a lot of emerging research on this. And one of the best thing that's happened in 2025 was several peer-reviewed studies that identified direct connections between anti-parasitic medications having off-label benefits, fighting a variety of cancers. So this makes a lot of sense. The connection between tumor growth and parasites has been known for years. Now, while currently the CDC remains silent, they have admitted, finally, that millions of Americans are suffering from parasitic infections that often go undetected or undiagnosed. This is why Dr. Peter McCullough, Chief Scientific Officer over at the Wellness Company and the world's most published cardiologist, says, quote, these studies make a clear case to do at least one medical grade parasite cleanse every single year. And the TWC parasite cleanse is the real deal. This is not your mother's cleanse. This is not some supplement. This is an amazing product. It is the Wellness Company's proprietary USA compounded ivermectin plus mebendazole. It is a doctor-prescribed gold standard combination dose, and it's designed to help the body eliminate parasites plus a lot of other incredible benefits. Each bottle contains 90 capsules, and it's enough to complete a 21-day cleanse. So the formula cannot be found at your local pharmacy. There's no equivalent out there. But the Wellness Company removes all of that red tape by making the process fully digital. So all you have to do is fill out a quick intake form. A doctor will review the form, and your medical grade parasite cleanse will arrive to you within a week. So this is a once a year cleanse. It is worth every penny, and it's time for people to get healthy and pay attention to the parasites. So head to twc.health/joy right now. twc.health/joy. That is my landing page. If you use the promo code JOY, that's JOY, they're going to take $60 off your parasite cleanse. Plus, they're going to give you free shipping. That is only at twc.health/joy. That is twc.health/joy. Annie has popped up the QR code in the corner of the screen. You can click on that or just hover your phone over it to go right to my site and enjoy a very special gift for the SJ audience, $60 off plus free shipping on every order when you use the JOY promo code. And by the way, use the JOY promo code every time you shop at TWC. If you're already plugged in, you're already using some of their products, make sure you use that JOY code so they know I sent you.
Welcome back, everyone, to the Shannon Joy Show. We are live on location in Thomas Massie's district in Boone County, Kentucky. And I am here in a beautiful retreat on the banks of the Ohio River with about a dozen or more influencers, content creators, people who got in their car for no money and flew out to stand up with Thomas Massie as he faces down a massive attempt to take him out by the billionaire Epstein class. And so my next guest is Davis Jones. He is one of those amazing content creators. His handle is at P Davis Jones on all of the platforms. You can find him on Twitter, Instagram, and TikTok. He is a short form creator and also running for the mayor of San Marcos, which is really interesting. But Davis, welcome to the Shannon Joy Show. So glad you're here.
Thank you, Miss Joy.
Well, I want to start with, and you guys are going to meet a lot of new content creators today, so this is going to be super fun. First and foremost, tell everyone why you came down here. I mean, I drove 8 hours. You came from across the country. Like, what was the catalyst?
Independent thinking.
Go ahead.
Yeah, independent thinking. I mean, I'm there for that. We need more people who think for themselves. I think the parties are dividing us, and I think that that's the way that certain people like it. And we need people who think for themselves. I mean, America, lowercase r Republican, is all about decentralized power, individual nodes of power in our country that power government by and for the people. We need people to think independently. And right now, I just feel like so much of our life is being shoved down our throats from, we could say Washington, but then what is that? That's corporate lobbies. Mm-hmm. That's foreign influence. And I honestly think it's starting to tear apart our communities because, when you don't feel that sense of agency because that there's some force behind the force that's kind of like really making the decision, right. Then like you feel like you don't have control over your own life. And I'm starting to just see that all these problems that we think about, like low fertility rates, problems with people coupling, not as many people having sex, these cheap forms of the economy like crypto and gambling and OnlyFans, all of this stuff is downstream from a system that is broken and honestly unconstitutional. Yeah. Our Constitution never intended for Washington, D.C. to be so important that it can rip families apart, rip marriages apart, make people obsessed with federal politics all the time. Right. That is not the way this country was set up.
No, it absolutely wasn't. And I think that you are echoing the sentiment of so many of us here. Something is very, very wrong in our country today. And it isn't just Washington, D.C. It's the capture that you mentioned as well. I mean,
because what happens when you have a centralized place? Then
that's
people say, hey, listen.
The villains go.
That's right. They say, hey, listen, if we just go get that spot, right, then we're set.
Yeah. And so decentralization is really important. And I think, creating other avenues for information for Americans where they can find,
you.
Well, exactly. And the interesting thing about everyone here today, I think there are a lot of influencers here. We probably don't agree with each other on everything, who could possibly.
That's true. How could you eat a hamburger without a bun? Like you did, I saw. Like, I don't agree with that.
You just disclosed to everyone that I ate. He had a real problem with the fact that I ate a hamburger without a bun. He's like, don't you want a bun for that? I'm like, no, I'm okay with my...
But honestly, I probably got a little more here than you do, so I know what's going on.
That's too much. So, Davis, talk to us about you are a short form creator. So,
I'm a news guy. Okay. People usually look to me to understand complex topics. I have a background in education, so people really like to come to me and understand what's going on with Supreme Court decisions, geopolitical things, strategy, things like that. And so, that's what most people come to me to. I'm kind of like their news source. A lot of people use me as their daily news source.
Okay. And how often do you post every day? Do you have like a regular schedule?
It's usually once a day. Okay. I have little babies. I usually get up at like 4 a.m. and I do my research and I post usually about 7 a.m. Central every day. And then I have a job and I have other things that I do in my community. So I'm like a once a day kind of guy. Okay. And I usually have one of 3 formats and one of them's kind of secret. I'll tell you about in a second. Mm-hmm. You guys on the Shannon Joy Show can know about how it really works.
You get the scoop.
But I do sometimes like a short burst. It's like 3 minutes. Like today I did one on the Montgomery versus Carib Supreme Court case that just came down. It changed the trucking industry forever. Oh. But sometimes I'll do longer form, like 9 minutes on something like, not long form like you, but on things like, Greenland. Like there's a lot going on with like, why are we interested in Greenland and melting ice and what does that do to trade and all this stuff. And then sometimes, and here's the secret one, I took a page out of Ben Franklin's book. And so Ben Franklin was a tradesman. That is in the DNA of America, but really he was a tradesman in the sense that he was a printer because he liked to publish, like us.
Right.
And one of the ways that Ben Franklin would discuss controversial topics would be to basically imagine a person who wrote a letter to the editor, but it was Ben writing a letter to his own paper. And that would give a sort of separation for the audience between Ben and what they're reading. And it gives you an ability to sort of step back and analyze. So I like to overhear conversations that enable me to bring out really complex topics that, are usually hard to discuss.
That's awesome. And I do think distilling complex ideas or news items or
especially
events.
ones that are so emotional.
Yeah.
Issues around like trans issues or like voting issues that are like, I try to have, respect for everybody. And it's still important that we talk about these things. And also, if you get into this deal where you say, I think this and people should be like that, it can really divide. And that's not really what I'm about.
No, honestly, this country has been divided in so many ways over the past, it feels like past 50, 60 years. These two political parties have ripped the country apart. Democrat versus Republican.
It's all this identity politics
and
stuff.
Then black versus white, male versus female,
totally.
Gay versus straight. And then you that culminates with COVID, where they isolated us. I mean, it was the max division, right? We were then all locked in our homes.
Because also from a technology standpoint, we're reachable because they say, oh, you're a woman of this age and like you like these things and we're going to advertise to you in this way. Yeah. And the thing is, then we're all put in these boxes and lanes, and people who have access to that data, which is increasingly kind of scary, right? The amount of data that can be accumulated about us. And now when you mix that with what's happening with surge pricing and personalized pricing, like it's pretty wild. This was the first time getting the plane ticket to come out here where I was like, oh my gosh, this airline ticket is personalized to me. And all of a sudden I look on a different site where they don't have data about me and it's like $300 cheaper.
Wow.
And so we're getting into this deal here, which is kind of wild.
Can we talk about that, the surge pricing? Because I saw a few weeks ago, and I mentioned this to my audience, and I wanted to do a deep dive, and I don't want to do a deep dive today, but I think they really need to know what's going on. As companies, corporations, even, corporations that own grocery stores or retail stores.
The airline and hospitality is the most advanced. Grocery stores are kind of lagging behind them.
Yeah, but I saw a report that they are now, as they're moving towards digital pricing, essentially. Well, why don't you go ahead and explain what surge pricing is?
Yeah, so surge pricing is more what you would experience when you're buying your food. And so, the really pernicious view of this would be like, oh, there's a TP shortage in COVID. All of a sudden, a TP, bundle costs $300, right? So like that's surge pricing. Whereas personalized pricing is more what you'll experience on digital platforms, where a lot of times what they'll do is basically buy data about you. There's a Mac tax, like if you're on a MacBook or you're using an iPhone, usually the price will be more expensive. They'll profile you by zip code.
No way.
Oh yeah, for sure, And then what they'll do is basically start offering you a personalized price. And so they'll make the argument that this is about inventory efficiency and supply and demand. And maybe that's more true in the case of the TP, but if you're buying an airplane ticket and they know they can just shake you, Shannon, down for an extra $400, is that really supply and demand, or is that just extraction? Right. And statistically, it shows that these companies are basically able to squeeze between 25 and 30% more out of us without delivering anything extra to us.
That's wild. That's absolutely insane.
Yeah, and the question is that a market? Because supply and demand, and like we're all, I'm sure, cool with capitalism. I mean, we're in America, let's go. Like, I'm definitely not a socialist, but it's like, does that start to rend the fibers of trust that make markets work?
Right. Well, and it's also, it feels like a violation of our rights to privacy.
Absolutely.
And using, data is gold. Information is currency.
Yeah, and I have to use an app to check my kids in and out of school now.
Yeah.
So some of these apps aren't that optional.
Right.
It's like you have to use the app. And now we're starting to see that in 2028 and beyond, GMC is going to charge you a monthly subscription fee to connect your phone to your own car that you own.
This is crazy.
This is wild.
Crazy. I saw another TikTok like a week ago that some young girl went out and bought a printer to print things from her computer in her home. And in order to get the printer to work, she had to do a subscription forever. So she can't even have a freestanding printer to print out.
So you bought something you don't own.
Exactly. And that's the whole, subscription model of everything. We don't need to get into that, but that is something actually that I would love to have you on my.
Well, and I think that, this is interesting. Tiffany was talking about Lena Khan and monopoly stuff. And the thing is, like, yes, of course you say, okay, new competitors are going to come in. But like where I live, there's basically one grocery chain, HEB. And like, you can't just create a grocery chain. I mean, this has been created over like 3-4 generations. So at what point are you basically giving monopoly power for a corporation to just squeeze an extra 30% out of the population.
Right.
And
That's the problem. The problem is the monopolies.
Yeah.
And the unholy alliance of big corporate and big government.
Especially when you have Washington, D.C., and they can say, well, if I'm there,
right.
then, we're set, like the airlines,
right.
or like the banks, you know. There's so many industries like this where they know, the defense industry. They're like, if we, like, the return on lobbying is, can I say the F word on this podcast? Should I not?
Sure.
Is effing outrageous. Okay. So like my research shows that on average, a $50 million investment in lobbying will generate around $20 billion in revenue for you. I mean,
insane.
That's crazy. And you probably don't have $50 million to spend on lobbying.
I certainly do not. And, when this country,
but certain platforms do.
Yes, they
right?
do.
So, they get what they want.
Listen, when the country was founded, everyone was hollering about separation of church and state, and the left still hollers about separation of church and state, even though there doesn't seem to be any church here in the US anymore. But anyway, I digress. I think the problem today is the unholy alliance between the state and the corporations, corporate and state. And that creates an impenetrable fortress for them where the free market cannot operate. Then there's no competition. When there's competition, that's what drives down prices. That's what fosters innovation. It forces companies to earn your business, to earn your trust, to build a good product. And when the companies,
you also have more wealthy people,
right?
Because, for example, like if you had, for example, JP Morgan, but as 50 JP Morgans, now you have 50 state level CEOs. You have 50 state level VPs. And all those people are living near you. They're not going to be as willing to just say, listen, I live in New York. Like, do you know where United Healthcare is headquartered?
I don't know.
I don't know either. And United Healthcare is the most impactful health insurance company in our country. You can't just drive to United Healthcare and say, why did you deny my coverage for cancer treatment?
But this is what they do. Obamacare, they
Yes.
put out of business 5,000 small and medium-sized insurance companies, paving the way and handing the monopoly to companies like United. During COVID lockdowns, they put tens of thousands of small mom and pop businesses out of businesses. Remember, the liquor stores were open, the big boxes were open, the big tech companies were open, but every mom and pop business, small to medium-sized businesses, shut down.
It goes back to the interpretation of the Commerce Clause. Why can they do this from Washington?
They're creating monopolies, and the government right now is doing this with farmers, small family farms. They're squeezing them out. They're making it impossible with the fertilizer crisis and the energy crisis and what they're doing in Iran. They're creating this unnatural situation that is going to put thousands and thousands of small farms, small to medium farms out of business so that Monsanto and
they're so involved in ag. They were never supposed to be involved in ag.
This is not capitalism. This is not business friendly. This is cronyism. This is monopoly making. And it is happening because we are so divided.
And then we do like monocropping, we grow soybeans instead of strawberries and tomatoes and carrots. It's wild that like we have this wonderful farmland that's now been ruined by monocrop, type agriculture. And it's like people don't eat soybeans.
Right.
That I get it that, other animals eat soybeans and it's a primary input and all this type of stuff. But the federal government was never meant to be in agriculture. It's never meant to be in medicine. It was never meant to be in so many of these places. And this is not necessarily a states' right necessarily thing, because the crazy thing is, can you even imagine a life, Shannon, where you just don't think about the president that much?
Oh my gosh, it'd be so lovely.
How nice would that be? How nice would that be? The crazy thing is that we can't even imagine it.
I know.
We've been we're so used to having a federal government that's so big that we literally can't even imagine what it would be like to more identify with our states and our communities, where we have more accountability, more control.
Such a great point.
And it was never meant to be like that. And it would relieve so much psychologically. And also Louis Brandeis, a very famous Supreme Court justice, said the states are the laboratories of democracy. And what we observed in, for example, Mississippi, is that they shrugged off mandates from the federal government, the Department of Education, on this wild reading program that they suggested, where you didn't teach phonics, but instead you taught filling in the gaps in sentences. And Mississippi was like, nope, we're not going to do that. And actually the lowest SES students in Mississippi learned to read better than the highest ones in California.
Unbelievable.
And now they're spreading it across the country. It shows you that is the way that we innovate. And as we get into a world where we have robots building robots
No, thank
within
you.
the next 5 or 10
Don't
years,
want it.
it's going to happen, girl. Like, I
Nope,
mean, we need,
nope, not in this girl.
we need to be ready for change because it's about to get freaking wild.
Yeah, it is. Hey guys, this is Davis Jones, and he's one of the many, many talented influencers, independent here in Boone County, Kentucky. It is Massie country here, and we are going to be turning out content creation for the next 5 days. We're going to be doing live events. We are going to be doing shorts, mid-form content. I'm going to be doing the live show on Monday and Tuesday on the ground here as we battle back against this cabal, the billionaire class, the corporate cronies who think they own everything and they own us. They don't. And we're going to prove that to them with this alliance. So Davis Jones, his handle is P Davis Jones on Twitter, Instagram, TikTok. Support him, follow him. Great content coming out. I loved everything you said already.
Thanks.
I can tell you're going to be a regular guest on the Shannon Joy Show. Anything you want to finish off with?
Yeah, y'all keep thinking for yourself. Keep supporting independent creators.
All right. Thank you so much. We're going to go to a quick break, guys. And we're going to bring in our next guest, who is Hunter Alexander Howell. He's a youngin', but he is putting out amazing content. He's an independent journalist, and I cannot wait to talk to him. You guys are going to love him as well. So we're going to take a quick break. We will be back in a moment right here on the Shannon Joy Show. I am so proud to be working with Peter Schiff and Schiff Gold in 2026. There is no one that I would trust more to send this audience to in terms of a metals strategy, whether it's your gold and silver physically that you purchase and keep in your home or in a safety deposit box, gold and silver in an IRA, which you can do through Schiff Gold, or even investing in gold mining stocks, which Peter Schiff and his team can also help you with. It is time to get that metals strategy in place. Right now, silver and gold are soaring. Silver is approaching $85 an ounce, while gold is up over $45 an ounce. And people don't see this stopping anytime soon. I know it seems expensive to you, but I don't know that there is a cap to this in the near future. So you can get started now. I want to encourage you guys right now to go to schiffgold.com/joy. That is schiffgold.com/joy. Everything that you need, Peter's analysis, market reports, research reports. You can get plugged into his investment services, physical gold and silver, which we're going to be talking about this month, and also protecting your retirement with a gold or silver IRA. It's all right there at your fingertips on my page, schiffgold.com/joy. Please head over to theshannonjoy.com, theshannonjoy.com. This is my independent platform. It is my website. I own it. And the email list that I have created with all of you, those of you who have signed up for the Shannon Joy daily email, it is so important. It's the most critical element in terms of my connection to all of you. Should I be deplatformed on YouTube or Twitter or Rumble or any of the platforms that we are pushed out on today, it is my one line to all of you. It's where I can contact you directly and let you know where to find the show. I will never forget the censorship of 2020. I was permanently suspended on Twitter. I was completely shadow banned on Facebook. I lost the entirety of both audiences in the span of 30 days. In the early days of the Shannon Joy Show, I was completely yanked off of a radio station because I continued to critique Donald Trump, and it was a right-wing radio station. Overnight, I lost my entire platform. Thank God 10 years ago, or was 8 years ago, I had built up a presence on Twitter and Facebook and was able to continue the show until I moved it to another platform, a 50,000 watt radio station just down the road. But I am very familiar with being deplatformed and it happening very fast. That email list is everything. It is my pipeline to all of you. So if you haven't signed up for the SJ email list, please do so today. Go to theshannonjoy.com. That is theshannonjoy.com, and make sure that we're connected. Welcome back, everyone, to the Shannon Joy Show. As you know, we are broadcasting live in Boone County, Kentucky. It is Massie country here. and I'm joined by a dozen or more independent content creators, influencers, broadcasters, podcasters, you name it. We're having a great time. We're going to be talking to my next guest, Hunter Alexander Howell, in just a moment, but I do want to say hello to all of you. We are live on Rumble, live on Twitter. We are live on Substack and YouTube. We are live on Facebook, all of the platforms. And I want to say hello and thank you to everyone who's watching right now. Give the show a thumbs up. Leave a comment in the comment section or join the live chat. That's how we grow organically. The Rumble live chat is hopping right now. LT Oracle of Truth. The arrogance our government is showing. They think they have us checkmate. United we stand, divided we fall. It's time to stand together as Americans. All caps, LT Oracle of Truth. Amen, sister. I absolutely agree with you. Don't Frag Me Bro is with us on the live chat. Americans will not unite until we shed the fear and realize that the price of liberty and freedom cannot be too high. The longer we wait, the greater the price. Really great comment from Don't Frag Me Bro. James Cabral 135. It's a one-party system. They pretend to be two. I agree with you. Hey, Sandy3TV. Great to see you on the live chat. You're brand new. Love seeing new faces and new names on the live chat. We have Ollie Robin 9 with us. Mod Trend. Be My Valentine, Max Glitman, great to see you as well. So I just wanted to make sure that we are giving a little love to all of those live chatters. All right, Hunter.
Yes, ma'am.
There are, one of the things that I love about this is I'm probably the oldest person here. Okay, I'm just gonna say it, and all of the content creator, I'm like the grandma here.
No,
Hunter, okay,
no,
it's fine. It's fine. I'm learning so much from these young content creators, and I'm really impressed by just how professional and how just brilliant you guys are. So welcome to the Shannon Joy Show for the first time. This is Hunter Alexander Howell. He's an independent journalist. He does, again, short form content creation. He's the founder of Purple Revolution, which was adorable this morning. I was asking him about, what's Purple Revolution? And he said to me, well, it's my company and my movement. And he has an enormous following on Instagram. His handle is at Hunter Alexander Howell, and he's just doing some great work. Welcome to the show.
Thank you so much for having me on, Shannon,
You're
and
welcome.
talking me up. Hopefully I can live up to the kindness that you're talking me up with. So I'm super excited to be here, and I am just stoked and ready to go.
That's
Thank you.
awesome. Well, let's tell everyone about what you do, your content creation,
Yes, ma'am.
how you create, what you're pushing out, and then we'll talk about why you're here, why you heard Tiffany's call and, to come here and make a difference. But let's just talk about your platform first. You're so young and you got into this at such a young age. How did that work for you?
Shit. Yeah. I mean, everyone has a story to tell,
There we
right?
go.
So I guess with mine, it kind of started with a few years ago, got into short form content creation on TikTok. That was my big thing originally, and got into some theory, some economics, and then politics as well, of course, hence why we're here today.
Yeah.
And I was just so fascinated by the content creation and the media and like how to get involved as a little kid. I was like this tall. I always told my mom, like, hey, I want to do something in media.
Yeah.
I would do like school theater shows, like a theater kid, right?
Awesome,
I always wanted to
yeah.
do something with media. I got into it on my own, into politics, and went through a lot of ups and downs, right? I ended up founding the Purple Revolution, right? I'm the founder of the Purple Revolution. It's as Shannon said, it's the company that I founded, it's the movement that I founded, and it's what I truly believe to be true in my heart of hearts. And that was
What's
from
the
a lot
mission
of,
there?
of course, yeah. It's a populist movement, right?
Okay.
Left-wing populism from like an economic standpoint, but really more so than left versus right. It's about really uniting people over some really important issues, which I'd like to talk about today
Sure.
at some point, not right now.
Definitely.
But the things that I have written down here is what I really want to hone in on to
Okay.
anyone that doesn't know. But it all started when I'm in Washington, D.C., and I'm working for a Republican member of Congress at the
Okay.
time. I'm not having a good time. I've told people this a lot, but for anyone new here, I hated my time in D.C. I didn't like it. It wasn't for me.
I hate DC.
It just wasn't for me. I was around people that, like I could feel the power, I could feel the money, I could feel the influence, and I'm like, I'm not enjoying this. I'm feeling grimy, and I want to get out of it, right? And also at the same time, I'm deconstructing my whole mind, realizing, wait a second, I'm working for a Republican. I'm not Republican at all, but I don't like the DNC and the corporate Democratic Party. Like, what the hell am I gonna do with my life?
Aw.
And I'm sitting there in my room in DC, and I'm like doing one of these with my head back and forth, like, what is going on? What am I doing? And I'm like, wait a second. No, I'm going to just start talking from my heart about issues that I believe to be important.
Awesome.
And some people are going to love me. Some are going to hate me. It started to grow so fast on TikTok, the Purple Revolution, that we had a huge campaign actually from the left try to slander us.
Wow.
Huge creators with millions of followers talking about how terrible all of us were. And the other people that I founded the company with, they were like, you know what? Hunter is going to be our scapegoat. He's going to be our fall guy. He has the most baggage. So we're going to throw him under the bus. So not only were we getting attacked by a huge smear campaign, the two people that I was in this with that we were like lockstep were like, no, we're going to shoo Hunter out.
Wow.
So once again, back to,
Square
in my
one.
room, square one, like
Yeah.
cradling back and forth, like scratching my, like, oh, what the hell am I going to do with my life? I ended up just staying grounded, keeping my faith and the perseverance. I'm like, no, I'm going to keep talking about issues that I believe to be genuine in my heart. And the people are going to love me or hate me, but they're going to know I'm real.
Very cool.
And so then the other two people decided like, yeah, we want nothing to do with this anymore. They tried to use me as a scapegoat, but then we're like, no, we're going to abandon it entirely. So then it was just me, one man standing with the Purple Revolution. And then once the left got done with attacking me,
Right.
people started following, the movement started growing. Then the right started attacking me. So people that I was cool
That's how
with-
you know you're on the right track, though. I mean, I got to be honest. Same
And-
in my trajectory.
And the thing that hurt the most was the people on the left that were attacking me had huge platforms. I didn't know them personally. The people on the right that started attacking me, I had been in live discussions with them before.
I know.
I had DM'd them before, and we were all cool. And like, even though we didn't agree on stuff, like I'm like, okay, I know these people on a semi-social level or a personal level. Like we had talked before, we had debated before. Like I know these people. And then all of a sudden, I come out one day and there's this new right campaign talking about how terrible the Purple Revolution is.
Can I ask you why the right turned on you?
Yeah, they believe that I was terrible for talking about the bread and butter of what I want to talk about today, which is that one goes
Yeah.
the Epstein files. That was huge for me. I have a bunch of numbers here that I'm going to just start giving out these numbers in a minute. But they hated me for the fact that I'm a huge anti-war guy.
Okay.
And so I criticize people on the right and the left that are war hawkish, right? So if there's like some progressive candidate that is like, hey, I'm completely anti-war, I'm not going to take the blood money. I'm like, okay, you have my support. Let's talk further on some other issues. Same on the right, like for instance, Thomas Massie taking no money from AIPAC, criticizing the war with Iran, which the majority of the Republican Party, minus a few, one of them being Thomas Massie, is saying, hey, we're going to go with Trump. The war is fine. And I'm like, no, the war is not fine.
The war is wildly unpopular too.
Completely.
So you are certainly in lockstep with 85 to 90% of the American people, left and right. So that's the kind of bizarre moment that we live in, where the politicians are so tone deaf to the entirety of the country, whether it's the economy or the war or the Epstein files. These are major issues where Democrats and Republicans, regular Americans, are screaming for relief. And because they've consolidated so much power, because they are so brazen and they are so bold because of the power they have amassed, that they don't care. I mean, this is a new moment in American politics where they're not even really trying to earn our votes.
No,
they're buying a lot. And this is what the reason that we're here.
Yes.
Is because that's what's happening in this district right now, and it's going to happen in every district, and it's going to happen with greater velocity and more force the longer we allow them to get away with it. I mean, so we have to do something. I didn't mean to cut you off.
No. I completely agree with you. We have to do something.
But it was the Epstein files, though, that you said that really
that pissed off the right.
Yeah.
The left got pissed off for other issues. The right gets pissed off. But at the end of the day,
unbelievable. I'm sorry.
No, it's okay.
The right has been clamoring for the Epstein files to be released. Like they've been obsessed with it.
Years.
Sean Hannity, 10 years ago, Lolita Express, all of the coverage about the Epstein files and Epstein and all of the horrifying things that happened in that sphere was driven by the right. So it's the most insane thing. You're not crazy. They are.
Yeah,
okay?
I appreciate
You're not
you.
the crazy one. They're crazy, right? Because they're the hypocrites. But go ahead.
It just feels like people are trying to gaslight people for their own party's agenda. Like we saw that in 2024 when it came to Biden, and this is I'm not trying to diss on the guy, but like he wasn't in the best state of head or mental health. Okay, he was having a cognitive decline. Anyone that wants to deny that is just like not wanting to be honest with themselves.
Right.
But then, and so people would show for him. But then on the right now with Trump, he's doing so many terrible things again and again and again and again, doing 180s on his campaign promises,
Yes, he is.
betraying his voters. And then
Yes,
I also
he
want to
is.
touch on the fact that you said he doesn't even pretend to care about his voters anymore. And the thing he came out recently where someone asked him about the war in Iran, a reporter said, "Mr. President, what about Americans' financial situations right now with this ongoing war?" And Trump goes, "I don't even think about it. I don't even think about it.
Of course he
I don't
doesn't.
think about," and it's word for word verbatim because I'm not even giving it a thought. And then he's like, "The only thing that matters is Iran not getting a nuclear weapon." And it's crazy because that is the propaganda that has been pushed on us before I was freaking born.
Yes,
that is what
it
they've
is.
been saying since the early 1990s. For instance, I was born in 2002, post 9/11. 10 years before I was born was right-wing propaganda saying that Iran was 2 weeks or a month away from having a nuclear weapon.
Yes.
It's been my entire life, and they're still using the same playbook.
So I call it Groundhog Day political hell.
Okay, tell me more about that.
I coined Groundhog Day political hell. The same story over and over and over and over
Yes.
and over and over ad nauseum. I started my show 13 years ago, and
Okay.
it took me about 2 years to see that the same talking points recycled, the same fights
Yes.
recycled, the same issues recycled, and it's just absolutely maddening. At some point, we have to do something different. But you woke up pretty quickly, and
I did.
I want to applaud you for your courage.
Thank you.
Because it's very hard to go out and be yourself.
That is true.
It's very hard. And it's one of the things that I promised myself I would do when I started my show, that I was always just going to be myself. I might be wrong. People might not like me. I might lose certain opportunities. I might have a harder time getting to the end goal than other people. But as long as you just stay true to yourself and
Yes.
be yourself, that's going to be really important. And the audience loves you, by the way. Everyone thinks that you. Proctor Surf said, "This is a good kid. You are a good kid." So
Thank you, Proctor.
yeah. And make sure that you're following him on Instagram, Hunter Alexander Howell. That's Hunter Alexander Howell. Hunter, okay, so tell us about that. You brought some things
I
that
did.
you really wanted to talk about and that you wanted to inform the audience about. And I want to give you a chance to do that.
Yes, thank you so much. So I think the most important thing today is, if I could leave one message with you, I want you to do your own research and don't trust me at face value, right? Go and research this for yourself, please. I've reported on it. Many others have reported on it. Legacy media won't touch this at
They
all.
will not.
I'm going to give you some file numbers, some specific numbers you can look up regarding the Epstein files, the Epstein Files Transparency Act, which, by the way, Thomas Massie was the sponsor to lead the charge to get this open to the public.
Right.
So everyone, real quick, please go research this for yourself. EFTA 010100128, EFTA 000900314, EFTA 00878-421, EFTA 0125-0883, or EFTA 00090-315. Okay, all of these files right here are some of the most heinous things. I'm not even going to talk about it on this show. I've talked about it on some of my own independent work that I've done. I've explained what these files allege to and who's involved in. But it's so the amount of evil in the files and the numbers that I have read off here is so sickening beyond comprehension. This is quite literally, I want to give you all a trigger warning before you research this. This is genuinely nightmare fuel. Like I was on the ground. I'm an emotional kid. Well, not kid, guy. I'm like fucking pulling my hair, and then I'm like, wait, no. Like, this happened to real people. The real heroes are the survivors of this.
Mm-hmm.
The least I can do is talk about it and bring it to light. And there's millions of these files of just people in power doing heinous things to young boys and girls. And the thing that really, really like kind of woke me up is the fact that once this stuff came out, I thought that I really believed in my heart that like the people would revolt. Like they'd be like, we're not having our government do this.
Right.
We're seeing in fucking the United Kingdom, or not the United Kingdom. Is it the UK? Prince Andrew, or is he the Prince?
Yeah, UK's
Yeah.
Prince Andrew.
So Andrew Windsor, he got stripped of his prince title. In the Netherlands, they're investigating high up authorities for pedophilia in the Epstein files. I'm pretty sure in Belgium, people are resigning. In France, people are getting investigated into. All over the world, they're at least trying to prosecute the people that did these heinous things. In the United States, it's called a hoax. It's called a hoax. and you're called evil or disingenuous or a Democrat plan or all of these things, if you just want to talk about the files and say, let's have some accountability, you're slandered.
Right. Absolutely. No, the Epstein files, I think it was a line in the sand. And I think you're right. I think that American people right now, the populace, is shell shocked and also having a very difficult time grappling with the level of just pure wickedness.
Yes.
That is being deployed against children and women, boys and girls from people in the highest positions of power, both political parties. And one of the reasons, I've been reporting on the Epstein files for 10 years.
Okay.
So it was one of the original reasons that I originally, as a conservative talk radio host, would not get behind Donald Trump, because of some of the connections that people knew about between Donald Trump and Jeffrey Epstein from the day he came down the golden escalator. And I had a whole host of reasons that I did not support him, but that ended up getting me blackballed from all of the right wing.
I'm sure. I'm sure.
No Fox News for this girl. No The Blaze for this girl. Right. Because I was in opposition to Trump from day one. But the thing about the Epstein files is that it's bipartisan. And that was something that I realized very early on, and absolutely, absolutely horrifying. And so I thank you for reporting on that and continuing to report on that. We still need to get to the bottom of this and also prosecute. We need justice. I know that it's hard. People think we'll never get justice. I hear this all the time.
Yeah,
why are you even bothering? They always win.
Sure.
We never win. They always get away with it. And one of the things I always rest on, because of my biblical faith, is the scripture in Isaiah. It's along the lines of this, people were crying out to God, like, what do we do in these very, very dark times?
Sure.
And, how should we live? And basically it was quite easy, cease to do evil, learn to do good, go for justice, rebuke the oppressor, defend the fatherless, plead for the widow. But the third command was to seek justice.
Yes.
So we should always be seeking justice,
100%.
even if we don't get it. I mean, the justice is up to God. It's not up to us, but we should be pursuing it and going for it.
Absolutely.
And we should be rebuking the oppressors and trying to establish at least some of God's justice here on earth. And so I want to encourage you to continue going for that.
Yes.
Because sometimes the process is just as important as the outcome. Regardless of what happens in the outcome, there is a process of collaboration and learning, and you're doing all of that. So it's awesome.
Thank you so much. I appreciate you. And it goes back into a cycle that's as old as time. Not quite as old as biblical scripture, but I think it's been hundreds of years old, that talks about how hard times create strong people. Strong people create good times, and then good times create weak people. Weak people create hard times. Right now, we're in the hardest of hard times.
I think you're right.
We're on the cusp of, not trying to be pessimistic, but a nation that has so many fractures in it at the moment.
Yeah, it's true.
But instead of being hey, it's so over, give up, throw in the towel, as you said, what it said in the book of Isaiah, and as this cycle tends to repeat in history, we're in the hard times, but the hard times are creating strong people.
Absolutely.
And the strong people can create good times. So if we just don't give up and have that fortitude, that perseverance, we can create the good times. We can get the justice for the victims.
Love it.
I don't know if it's going to be today, tomorrow, 10 years from now, but it is going to happen.
I love that. And James Cabral 135 says, "You are the best." Mama C 1996 said, "He could be my kid. I love him." Be My Valentine says, "Thank you, Hunter. We pass the baton to you and your generation." And I agree with that. So it was so good to meet you, to have you. I'm looking forward to collaborating with you all week long.
I gotta show you how to do the short form stuff. We're gonna
teach me how to do short forms. I see I'm learning from the whippersnappers.
Yes.
I'm like the grandma here, but thank you so much. Yes.
Thank you, Shannon. I appreciate you so much. And I look forward to supporting the next guest coming on.
Amazing. You're welcome. So his handle is at Hunter Alexander Howell on Instagram. All right, quick commercial break, and then we're going to bring in
even, well, this guy, I mean, he's super famous. He has a huge following, Ryan Matta. And I learned more from Ryan yesterday about social media posting and evading the algorithms and, using the algorithms to our advantage. Then, I mean, it made this entire trip worth it, the amount that I learned there. So I cannot wait to introduce you guys to Ryan Matta. He's a documentary filmmaker. He flew from El Salvador to be here, which is just absolutely amazing to be on the ground here in Boone County, Kentucky. We are live here on the ground in Kentucky, and we're going to bring him to you in just a moment. So thank you guys. We're going to be back. Keep it tuned right here. We're going to be back in a minute right here on the Shannon Joy Show.
Hey everyone, I just want to take a moment to thank one of my longtime friends, associates, my financial advisor, and a beloved sponsor of the Shannon Joy Show, Don Polano over at PCM and Associates. Don Polano, as many of you know, was the very first Shannon Joy Show advertiser almost 12 years ago, and he's been with us ever since. I trust Don Polano. He manages some of my assets and my retirement fund, and he's offering his services to all of you. He can take clients anywhere in the country and even across the globe over at PCM and Associates. And as you guys know, it is so important today. There's so much volatility and chaos. You need a human being, a person that you trust, and a person that shares your values. And that's Don Polano at PCM and Associates. So if you are looking for someone to help you manage your retirement or have investment advice, please consider calling Don Polano over at PCM and Associates. His number, 1-800-536-1368. That's 1-800-536-1368. And of course, you can go to PCMPolano.com. That is PCMPolano.com to learn about all of his services and get in contact with his team. Again, so thankful for Don Polano at PCM and Associates. And I think that you are really going to appreciate his services. So that number again, 1-800-536-1368 for a financial advisor that you can trust.
Welcome back, everyone, to the Shannon Joy Show live on location here in Boone County, Kentucky. We are here for Representative Thomas Massie going up against the deep state, the Uniparty, big pharma, big tech, big Epstein, you name it. And I have Ryan Matta with me right now, a huge content creator, documentary filmmaker, and he flew in from El Salvador to be on the ground here. So Ryan, welcome to the Shannon Joy Show. I'm so glad to introduce you to my audience.
Yeah, I've been following you for a long time, and I just enjoy your content. You know, it's rare that you meet people that just haven't been compromised and weren't willing to sell out. And I know how hard it is, right? Doing these podcasts and trying to fund yourself and actually keep yourself afloat in this environment when every force is working to bankrupt you or defund you. So I give you a lot of credit. And you never even sold out to the Trump crowd, you know? So it's like, I never got paid from Trump, but like I seen all the people that surrounded him and how beneficial and lucrative it was for those people to do that. And they just never offered me money because I would never shut my mouth about Israel. So it's like, you didn't only have to be pro-Trump, you also had to shut your mouth about Israel. So I give you credit.
Oh, I appreciate you. Thank you. Thank you. And well, it's worth it. You know, it's worth it to be able to be myself and to tell the truth. I find that to be an amazing blessing.
Yeah.
To be able to come in front of a microphone every day and be myself and tell the truth. And I'm sure you feel the same way because,
100%.
You didn't take, the payout either. So let's talk about, you came in from El Salvador and, to come to this district to stand with all of these influencers here and stand up for Thomas Massie. Talk about, if you can tell us about your reasoning there and why you decided to make that decision.
Yeah, honestly, I just wanted to kind of give a big middle finger to AIPAC. At the end of the day, like that was really my mission here, was just to say, like, you can throw as much money at you as you want. And I believe in Thomas Massie. You know, Thomas Massie has went above and beyond to do what needs to be done for the citizens of his county, just like President Bukele has done for the citizens of his country. And when you're willing to put your reputation, your life on the line and do what's right for this country, it's just, courage is contagious. So like, that's why I'm really, like, as much as I wanted to just give the big middle finger to AIPAC, it's like, I believe in Thomas Massie, and he's the only politician we have 535 in Congress, and Thomas Massie is the only one who is actually delivering on President Trump's agenda. President Trump's agenda 47 was 21 promises that he made to the American people, that he promised us. That was technically our mandate that we gave to him. And Thomas Massie is up against every odd in the machine. And then you have people like Benny Johnson and Cullen Rugnick. So all these people attacking Thomas Massie in this smear campaign. It's so pathetic. Everybody can see through it. And yeah, I made a post about Benny Johnson calling out Thomas Massie today.
I loved that so much.
And then in the comments, like I even challenged Benny Johnson. I'm like, you want to put I don't care about my social media. I will give you my Twitter, my Facebook, and my Instagram, which is 1.5 million followers. Benny Johnson, your Twitter is probably like 1.4. Let's go social media platforms to social media. Come down here right now and let's get this party started. Bring your whole goon squad. Bring 10,000 people with you, and let's go and do a get out and vote campaign and see who wins this election.
I love that. I mean, well, and they have been just pushing out outrageous lies.
Slop.
The deep fakes and the you took down. I mean, they tried to roll out that fake sex scandal a couple days ago against Thomas Massie, and you were one of the first to come out. He's a short form content creator, absolutely brilliant. You guys, you post in the mornings, right? Like you push out.
I push out 24/7 whenever I can.
Okay.
Yeah, it doesn't matter where I'm at, what time. If I got time to create and I'm bored and I'm down, yeah, I
That's
just
really
throw it
cool.
out.
I love that. But you have been instrumental in getting the truth out about all of that. And I mean, now it's completely debunked. I mean, the entire thing fell apart. Some people are saying that this is evidence that they are panicking, that we just might be close to, I mean, think about this, guys. You tell me what you think. $13 million as of today, which will probably be $20 million or more by Wednesday of next week.
Yeah.
And all of the power we have AIPAC, we have the Uniparty, Trump Inc., Big Pharma, Big Tech, Big Food, Big Chemical, like foreign governments all coming together in this like unholy alliance to just obliterate Thomas Massie in this tiny little district. I had Robert Barnes on my show the other day, and he said that this is the equivalent. The money that they're spending in this county per capita is the equivalent of $2.5 billion in a presidential election, which is the highest per capita ever in the history of the country, is how much money they are dumping in this district. And how many of us are there? I mean, we have 30 influencers, a combined 40 million in terms of reach or followers.
Yep.
And it is the ultimate David versus Goliath story. And we might pull this off.
Oh yeah. I think, like I said, I'm willing to bet my entire social media page is on it. And that's what I do for a living. And if I'm willing to do that, and like I said, it is a once in a lifetime movement. I don't think you'll ever see anything like this from the grassroots, organic like this again. I think you're going to see it over and over. I think Tiffany's going to continue to be a leader in this forefront in this movement.
Right.
And I think we're going to replicate it, and we're going to go state by state. They have a lot of power right now. And I think we have a few candidates that we can do this for. I hope Tiffany goes down there for Dan Bilzerian. I hope she does it again for James Fishback. And I hope we get these few people that are literally willing to go completely against AIPAC. And if there's so many people that send me, hey, will you help promote this person's campaign? I know there's another guy. Who's the other guy that's in Kentucky that we should also give a shout out to? The senator. That's
I don't know.
Who's the senator? Who? No, the one that's running locally right now. That's primaries on. Michael Ferris. Yeah, he's a cool dude too. He wants to force AIPAC to register as a foreign agent. So when people reach out to me and they're like, hey, we promote this politician, he's a good guy. And I'm like, is he vocally out there saying that AIPAC needs to register as a foreign agent? Because if he's not, then I have no desire, right? Like that's what this cancer has been at the upper echelons. It's Israel having control of foreign government, having taken over every access of power in our country. That's how we ended up with these data centers. That's how we ended up with these vaccines. That's how we ended up with every problem in our country. It's the root cause of all of them. So that's kind of where I'm standing on this.
Well, and I think that you are right about what this collaboration and our movement, this little gathering, organic, grassroots, by the way, something very, very unique about what's happening right now here in Kentucky is the fact that no one here is being paid. We all are. I mean, in fact, a lot of us paid for our own way down here. Yep. We paid for the travel. That's how important this is. And that gives a real element of authenticity and a genuine, aspect to what we're doing here. And I think that it's good. I think that this is what the American people want, and it's worth it. And I think you're right that this could be the type of movement
that can go up against data centers in small towns and villages, that can go up against corporate cronyism and whether it's issues or politicians, could be the beginning of the next movement. And I hope that it is.
Oh, I couldn't agree more. And you know, and then just imagine if it got more organized and they were able to buy our tickets and they were able to buy each of us an Airbnb. Like we're bunking 4 deep in one room in bunk beds. So it's like, you're funded by Qatar and the CCP. I'm like, well, if they are, they best be getting me my own gosh damn room and my own, you know, my own Airbnb and be paying for my rental car and my gas. So I have like $3,600 in my bank account right now. And my ticket back from El Salvador cost me like $1,100. So like, it's like, and then my gas down here probably cost me another 200 at 300 there and back with my Hummer. So it's just like, we're not paid. We don't need to be paid because we need to do this because it needs to be done. Thomas Massie is that hand grenade into the swamp. He is literally single-handedly the only politician that's delivering on Trump's agenda 2047. And that, you know, if he's willing to sacrifice it, I'm willing to sacrifice. And I think together, like you said, we're going to go from town to town. If they know this force is out there, I wouldn't be surprised if they start trying to pass some legislation that's like, oh, grassroots funding and campaigns are now illegal because you guys we're all ending up on a list by the end of this, for the record. You know,
stop
like
right now. I don't need to be on another list.
We're going to be on a no-fly list. I just got the 4 7s on my boarding pass. I guarantee it when I get back. So.
Oh my gosh. KC12112. This is so awesome. I find myself getting a little emotional about it. Standing up for truth and liberty in the face of tyranny is what makes us American.
Yeah, Matren says, I heard Ryan is living in another country. You're absolutely right. It's El Salvador. And I flew all the way back for this, you know, and my family's still here. I never sold my house here. I never sold my car here. I kept all my stuff here because I have my stuff paid off. So it's, you know, my living expenses here in America are less than $1,000 a month. Well, less. If I leave the country, they're probably like to $600 a month. If I don't have electricity and gas that's running all the time. So that's why I'm doing it. But I can come back anytime I want. I'm still an American citizen. I still have my American passport. I'm leaving because I don't believe that I have right now the opportunity to build a future for my child for what I do in this country.
Hey, you don't have to explain to anyone. Like I understand it.
Yeah.
The American dream is slipping away. The American dream is being threatened, and people are trying to protect their children.
That's what it's all
about. So, you know, don't blame Ryan for what these, you know, corrupt cretins are doing to us. And let's fight for freedom, and so we can come back, right?
You know, and let me tell you, the one thing that made me move is the new lawfare that's being weaponized against us. You see people like Kyle Seraphin, Sam Parker, and Elijah Schaffer. Elijah Schaffer, great, big media company. Okay, maybe he's a target, maybe he got some money. Kyle Seraphin's a dad, a father of 5 children, and got raked over the coals by our government. And then you meet Sam Parker, who's a 9-to-5 worker, right? Like he does nothing, and they're going after these people and destroying them and bankrupting them. I built a business here. And then my business got destroyed. Then I did this and that then I got demonetized on YouTube after I built a business model around that. And then here I am doing it a third time. I'm like, do I really want to do the same thing and get the same result? That'd be insane. Right. So like I had no choice.
Yeah, no. And it means a lot that you came back here, you know, that you still have your roots in the United States of America, and you still want to engage in civics more so than 90% of the population that is not engaging in civics right now. And so, no, I think that you're great.
Can I say one thing too? You know, going on that route, as crazy as me coming here, I went out to breakfast at First Watch. I didn't give anybody pre-warning, and I just posted a Facebook post, and I had 4 people from Kentucky show up at my breakfast table this morning. I'm telling you, people are going to turn out for Thomas Massie, and it's going to be in a landslide. And we're not even telling you who to vote for. I don't care who you vote for. All I want you to do is just please get out and go cast your vote. And that's all that matters right now. And if you guys want to help us take down the AIPAC machine and watch Marian Adelson, you know, flush $15 million down the toilet on Tuesday, let's throw a party. We'll celebrate.
So thomasmassie.com/vote, by the way, thomasmassie.com/vote is where you can get plugged in. You can get connected. We are going to be at the Coffee House and Cafe at LaGrange today. So you, Tiffany, 5:30. Thomas Massie is going to be there. Lauren Bobart is going to be there. Matt Gaetz is going to be there. Ryan Matta, Tiffany Cianci, David Jones, like everyone. It's going to be
James Lee.
David
Riley.
I mean, there are some really unbelievably talented content creators here.
Truth.
And so this is going to be, we're going to talk to True Love in just a moment. Can't wait to talk to True Love. Anything else that you want? Again, I hope that we do some more collaboration. You're going to be here through Tuesday,
I'll
correct?
definitely be back on for sure.
We'll do some more collaboration, and anything else that you want this audience to know, what you think is important before I let you go?
No, I just think, speaking your mind, and everybody has the ability to pull out their phone. I do vertical video content, and I spent years doing the podcasting. I spent years doing all this other stuff and high end and documentary films. And then I started pulling out my phone and just giving you guys my opinion. You all have an opinion. If times are tough, like the more of us that realize how other people are struggling, the more that'll speak out, and the more that'll speak out will start to organize like us. That's how we all got here. We're pissed, So the more you speak out, use your voice, it won't go unheard.
Well, and it is tough. One of the things we haven't really delved into today on the show, and we will on Monday and Tuesday, is the economic situation that is just pummeling families.
Let's do a whole show on it one of these days.
We should, because it is, the amount of gaslighting that they are subjecting us to about this economy and how great it is and how golden it is one of the most offensive things as a mother of 3 children, trying to get my kids up and out. It's just, one body blow after another.
Yeah, it's repulsive.
And it's repulsive. They don't care anymore. They have, gotten for themselves so much power that they don't even bother to even address this. And I think that time is short. We have to, this movement has to happen.
This is our last chance. This is the final battle. Yeah. There's no doubt about it.
All right. Ryan Matta, you guys can follow him on Twitter. His handle is @RyanMatta. Again, really great, hard-hitting, punchy, short form content. And, there's a lot of other stuff that you do as well. You make films. That's really very cool. Anywhere else that people can find you, or where can they support you? Maybe buy you, maybe donate. We'll get you so we can pay for your ticket back to El Salvador.
I appreciate it. Yeah. Just, actually, I'd rather you guys donate to the House of Life. It's a child sex trafficking organization that I work with in El Salvador that rescues child sex trafficking females, girls between the ages of 11 and 17. That is at House of Life MC over on X. And you guys can follow me on X at Ryan Matta, on Instagram at Shots by Matta, Facebook Ryan Matta, and every other social media platform for Ryan Matta is something I just got to platform so many times. There's a ton of them. So.
Oh my gosh. Well, you're still kicking, and I love that.
Yep.
So Ryan Matta, thank you so much for being with me. So
Appreciate
good to work with you. I
God
can't
bless
wait for more to come. All right, we're going to go to a quick break, and we will be right back with my last guest, True Love. We're going to talk about Get Out the Vote. That is, well, she's here. Come on in. We don't need to go to break. I usually take, 2 breaks per show, but I figured it was a nice, elegant way.
Let me be your break, darling.
To bring in one guest. I was so good to meet you. True Love that's your amazing name.
Thank you.
Met yesterday, last night. Another influencer. True is on the Twitter. Her handle is I am True, TREW, love. And first of all, tell us why you're here. You are the Get Out the Vote girl. So she's gonna tell all of you, if you're watching, oh my God, I can't stop talking with my hands. I'm very Italian.
That's plenty all right.
There's always a lot going on. But True is going to tell every one of you how you can get activated from here in Kentucky if you're within driving distance of Tom Massie's district, or even across the country. So we're going to do that in a moment. But why are you here? You took the call. Tiffany put out the video and we all came. And you included. Go ahead.
I'm an artist, activist, and visionary. And frankly speaking, when there's certain instances throughout our culture where I've just been really called into action. And this was one of them, because there are certain pivotal moments that just need that little bit of extra hands, a little bit of extra creative work. And I show up at these events and I say, you tell me what to do. Awesome. I'm here to get it done. We're here to support Massie. I'm here to support the creators. Whatever needs to be done, I'm here to do. And most importantly, I want the young people to know that their apathy, the feeling that their vote doesn't matter, is such, I think, the biggest lie that's being told right now. Because I think that the younger generations are like, it's such a big machine. It's up against us. It's $13 million at this point that's up against us. It's an entire foreign country that's up against us. Right. And I want to say, when it gets down to it, especially considering this is a primary, we're talking about a very small number of people that could influence people's perceptions of American politics entirely for the entire nation. Right. We're talking about the difference of 2,000 people. It's crazy. And so it's like, rather than thinking it's one vote against $13 million, it's 1 out of 2,000. And you're talking about very small numbers. Right. And that's why every person who leaves their house and says, I'm going to vote for the future of America, it matters.
Absolutely. And I would love to dial in on what you said about the young people. That's a major focus. One of the reasons I wanted to come down here, I've mentioned I'm probably the oldest person here, the oldest content creator here. And I'm just surrounded by all of these very, very brilliant, principled people like yourself as well. And I just wanted, to see that and see what that looked like. One of the major missions of this movement is to re-enfranchise the young voters, those who are going to inherit what this administration and what previous administrations are creating for them, which is tyranny, and slavery, and surveillance and dystopia. And they don't know what to do about it. They feel like their voice doesn't matter. And here in Thomas Massie's district in Kentucky, one of our major missions is to turn out that young vote. How are you guys going to try to do that? And how do you think we can achieve that?
Well, as soon as we're done with this interview here, we're actually going to go on a 4-hour round circuit, going doors to doors, passing out signs, going to local establishments, talking to people who are in the area and talking to real Kentuckians about what really matters to them.
Amazing.
And so we can actually get the people who are going to be voting, talking to the people who are going to be voting. So, like the creator content absolutely is so impactful and so important. And it's also so important to get the voices who are going to be out making a difference.
Right.
So we're going to be going to talk to them and activating them and ensuring that they know that we're here supporting them and their movement to support Massie or whoever you decided to vote for. Really, we really just want people to feel reinvigorated with the process entirely. So, and a story that I'd like to just share just to reinvigorate inspiration.
Yeah.
So I lived in Los Angeles for a while. And we started lobbying the city council as a citizen group, as a coalition, twice a week, every week for 8 months after Standing Rock to get the city of Los Angeles to divest from Wells Fargo for funding the pipeline.
Okay.
And we were able to actually get them to acknowledge that their banking contracts they're not beneficial for the city. It was actually putting the city in a vulnerability.
Right.
So, and I make that point to say, citizens can lobby too. We think of lobbyists and we think of this just corporate money and people who can just go buy out our elections and they have some superior stance over us. But if you get a group of people who are passionate to continue to show up and say, not like just book a time with your politician, make your case, make it easy for them to understand the points that you're on. Eventually you can actually get them to work with you on making the difference. So I don't want lobbying to be left in the hands of the billionaires. It really should actually be something that we take back in our own hands. We've got the power to vote, yes, and we also have the power to lobby. And I think that's a very, very important point to make.
I love that so much. I am obsessed with localism, bottom up, grassroots, town board, zoning board, school board, running for local office, getting engaged, putting together coalitions, and that's why a lot of people were surprised that I came down here. For the most part, though I cover national politics, I have abstained from endorsing or being involved with any national politicians. I mean, this is the very first time I've ever done that because I believe so deeply in the power of local organization. And I've seen it happen, to your point. Like, that's an amazing story. And one of the things that I've learned over the past 13 years, as I've watched successful movements, local movements that can actually achieve change, is that people tend to think that we need a majority, that everyone needs to be involved in order to affect change. And what I've learned is that you really don't.
No.
You need a motivated 5 or 10% of people who don't give up, right? That keep coming back. And that 5% begins then to drive the agenda and get shit done, So I completely agree with you. And if you can do it in California, my gosh, can we do it in red state Kentucky? I mean, so
Absolutely.
That's great. That's great.
And I think it's really fascinating because I think that we've had our eye on national politics. That's sort of the glamorous aspect of politics is, who's on the national stage,
right.
But the people who are actually making decisions that are impacting the people in yourself and the people in your environment, they're your local politicians.
So true.
And it's the local races. And I hope that, bringing all this attention towards the Massie race is a reinvigoration in local politics generally.
Let's go.
Generally speaking. And I think that the younger people are actually starting to realize what happens when we acquiesce our powers to, to a narrative,
Right.
to a narrative of powerlessness. And I think once you step into a situation where you think you're not going to win, and then you win, and then you realize you do actually have the power.
Absolutely.
And the thing that had power over you was simply just a story that actually just falls apart the moment that you step into it.
Amen, sister. And I will say this: I was thinking about this on the ride down here. I had 8 hours in the car, and I thought to myself, honestly, even I don't think that Tom Massie is going to lose. I think we're going to win.
Yeah.
I think we're going to win. But even if we don't win, just the act of coming together, I firmly believe that sometimes the process of organizing is just as important as the outcome, if not more important than the outcome. And if somehow they figure out how to steal this or cheat or pull the rug out or whatever, I don't think that this, based on the energy that I have felt in this room and the caliber of people who are here, who have come down to Kentucky, I don't think this is going to go away. In fact, I think if they try anything, this is just going to get bigger.
Yeah.
So, I think there's a win regardless, but we're going to fight like hell to push Thomas Massie over the finish line and get this done. But, I think when you take away the pressure from winning all the time, then you can have fun with the process. And we're always refining, we're always getting better, and we're always getting more powerful as long as we're sticking to those principles.
Yeah.
Not politicians, not political parties, but those principles that built our country, our Constitution, our Declaration of Independence. Like, it's common sense. And we've just forgotten all of that because of all of the shenanigans in Washington, D.C. and how much they've divided us. So.
Right. Well, and one of my favorite quotes is, you have to fall in love with the process of becoming great. And I think our country needs to fall in love again with the process of becoming great, and showing up at these events and showing up and collaborating with the people who have that fire in their hearts. To me, is the process of making myself great. And then I can bring that into everything that I work, all my artwork, all of my communities back home. I can bring the stories back and reinvigorate people with stories of actually having successes and making a difference, and saying it doesn't not matter.
It doesn't not matter.
Let's go. If we could just reiterate that over and over, just like play it on
Never forget
repeat.
it. Never forget it.
Oh my gosh. So I think that's one of the things that if I could inspire anybody to do anything, don't look at the outcome. Let the process be what moves you, and find other people who are moved by the same thing. And I guarantee the reinvigoration in the soul will flood over into all of your relationships and all of the results of anything that you put your heart and soul into, including getting Massie elected.
Let's go. Let's do it. Let's do it. You are the perfect final guest for the Shannon Joy Show.
Wonderful.
Because you're amazing. Can you guys believe the caliber of the people here gathered? I mean, we have 5 more days of this. I can't
excited.
wait.
I can't wait.
You never know, coming to these things, you never know what it's going to be like. And there's always a feeling of apprehension, right? Like, what am I getting myself into? And this movement, what is happening here, I think is going to be really special. And I think it's going to change some things. So True Love, thank you. So what a name. Oh my goodness. It is, her handle on Twitter is I am True Love, and that's TREW Love. Make sure you follow her on Twitter. We want to get you as many followers as possible, and push out your platforms and anything else that you need to tell the audience before we close up the show.
Well, if you follow me, I will be actually taking most of the behind the scenes footage. So if you want to see what's going on behind the camera, make sure you give me a follow so we can share that footage around too, because that really gives you an insider look at the collaboration and the passion that's going on here. So give me a follow there. It's I Am True Love on all platforms, and get out to the vote. If you're online, share content, keep talking about the issues, keep people invigorated, let people know that their vote makes a difference no matter where they are. And if you're here in Kentucky, if you've got a Republican friend, let them know to get out to the polls. Go to thomasmassie.com/vote. The poll locations have changed, so make sure that you've got your updated addresses so that you're getting to the right location. And also, we may even be providing rides if we can. So we just want to make sure that you get there and that you feel supported in your support of Massie. So thanks so much.
Absolutely. I also tweeted out, if you guys are following me on Twitter,
there is a Google spreadsheet, sign up sheet. So you guys can grab that, sign up, but go to thomasmassie.com/vote. That'll get you plugged into the on the ground, get out the vote operation that is being head up by True Love and an amazing team here. So we want to get you guys activated. We want to meet you tonight. The coffee house and cafe at LaGrange, we're all going to be there. Tiffany Cianci, the organizer, is going to be there. Thomas Massie is going to be there. Lauren Bobart, Matt Gates, and a host of other just amazing individuals. Again, Dennis Kucinich and his wife are coming in. It's going to be great. He's such a great guy. And we're just going to continue to push out all of this. So you guys are amazing. Yeah, everyone is just so inspired. Brooklyn Gal 123, great to see you. And I love this comment from Be My Valentine. Thank you for carrying the torch of freedom against tyranny. We cannot forget we're Americans. We cannot forget that we're Americans, and we love freedom. That's
I think
who
we're remembering.
Are.
I think we're
so.
remembering right now, and I think that's
so.
why this is such an exciting race, because it really is shaping the perception of American politics across the nation.
Yeah.
So anybody who's talking about it, sharing, posting, voting, it really is honestly making a difference to every single person who will choose to participate in the future.
Amazing. All right. Well, let's close out the Shannon Joy Show. You want to do it with me?
Sure.
All right. Thank you guys so much for being with us today in the Shannon Joy Show. Thank you to True Love and all of the amazing influencers who gave us a little bit of time today. You guys are going to be meeting a lot more influencers. We're going to be pumping out a ton of content on my platforms, on their platforms. I'm going to try my hand at short form. I'm going to learn from some of the great content creators here. And of course, the Shannon Joy Show will be live on Monday and Tuesday. So make sure that you tune in, share this with everyone you know. Sign up at theshannonjoy.com. That's theshannonjoy.com, my independent website. I'm going to be sending e-blasts and e-alerts as to when the show starts, so you won't miss a show. Thank you guys so much for being with us today. We'll be back on Monday to do it all again right here on the Shannon Joy Show.